Hello. If you do not have a specific reason to watch this video, it's just a workout. Same workout I've been doing for a while. So if you do not have a specific reason to watch this video, it is going to be a waste of your time. And I would not want to waste your time. Okay, so that being said, it is April 22nd, 2019. It's the Monday workout. Starts out with the warm-up. The warm-up has been consistently the same. 3 L-shaped chin-ups. Turn myself into the letter L. These chin-ups are brought to you by the letter L. 2 and 3. Knees were bending a little bit there. Then you, I think I'm going to call them glide downs. It's eccentric tension instead of concentric and eccentric tension. 4 times. That one felt pretty good. Slowly, just gliding down. All right. Let's switch out some lights. There we go. All right. This one will be all about, yeah, that looks like a good position. Next thing is 13 push-ups and 7 squats and 6 kind of bend over things. Bends, for lack of a better term for it. All right. That might have been 8. There might have been a weak one in the bunch, so decided to add one with a little bit more proper form, I think. Not entirely sure. Holding myself accountable. Okay, that's the warm-up. Next will be a breath exercise, and we start the workout. Whew. All right. Okay. Looks like a pretty good spot. I'll run through the workout. Oh. Well, that worked out well. and down. Pull it back a bit. Yeah, that'll kind of work. No. There we go. All right, that's fine. Okay. So, I talk about this, then I'm going to do a breath exercise. Basically what we got going on here, I write the script, I do the script, I don't change the script unless I really have to. Every workout, one thing goes up by a little bit, and that's just one set. Not both sets of an exercise. So unless it's certain exercises, like the last one last week was on Monday, well actually technically Tuesday because I mismanaged my time, was lateral raises, and that went up a little bit, and that goes up for all the sets because that's just kind of a finishing thing. Okay, so here it is. Shoulder press, lat pull downs, dips, incline curl on the incline bench, of course. It's a little wobbly. Hopefully it'll do for today. And then lateral raises stands it out. 5 exercises. The first one has 3 sets, the second one 2, third one 2, fourth one 2, and fifth one actually has 5. The fifth one is weird because it's a set of 15, then it's 4 sets of 5. All right, breath exercises. And I'm gonna dial up the weight because while I did stretch beforehand, I didn't do the weight work, or I didn't do my numbers work. So, should have done that prep work. But, not like I mind talking too much. Take my time on these workouts. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, but I'm subscribing to the philosophy between every set is going to be at least 90 seconds worth of waiting. And a breath exercise in between every set and every exercise. First set is the heaviest, but it's also the least amount of reps, doing about 6 reps on this. So, let's see if this one's good to go. Okay, that's a good start. Put it on the spots on my legs. I don't muscle it up, I actually use my legs to put it in the proper position. Since this is shoulder pressing, I won't be leaning back. I almost started to lean back a little bit. But a shoulder press, maybe this is not the best position for a shoulder press, but generally sitting down. All right, so I'm gonna pop these up by my shoulders and give it a whirl. That wasn't too bad. All right. Whew. Breath exercise, and then it'll be round 2. Like I said, the rest can be anywhere between 90 seconds and 5 minutes. Whatever feels good. and time permitting, and of course all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is a pretty lazy workout as far as what I've seen other people do. And but the good news is 2 years, that's the experiment. We'll see if this works in 2 years. This is going to be all breathing the mouth, in and out the mouth. Why not? That'll give you a little bit of a pause. A nice little effervescent round of good breathing. All right, speaking of rounds, this will be set number 2 of shoulder press, slightly less weight, slightly more reps. Less weight by just a few pounds, and more reps by just 2 reps. So I'm going for 8 on this one. Based upon the last set, I think I'll hit it. So this, I did not up these this week, this one. That's might be 2 weeks from now, I might up this one. So not next Monday, but the Monday afterwards. So this might be on the docket for upping. And then it'll take 3 weeks to up it because it's 3 sets. Okay, enough talking. Let's lift stuff. Wasn't sure about my count, so I threw an extra in there. That might have been 9 instead of 8. I am sweating. Woo! Yeah, this is something. This is special. A special feeling, hopefully a good feeling. Hopefully I'm not injuring myself or damaging myself. Hopefully I'm doing it just right. I think the script is not going to lie to me. It's going to be the turtle, slow and steady, but this is not a race. I know other people can get there faster and get there better and more optimally. This is just something I can definitely agree to do. I'll be like, yeah, that would be easy to do. I can keep up with that. I think I heard it said from 1 or 2 different places, the best workout routine is not the best workout routine. The best workout routine is something you can kind of keep up with for basically the rest of your life. Is a lifestyle change. And this pretty much is, or at least is part of one. It's more than just the workouts. It's a whole slew of stuff. But the big 2 changes are diet and exercise. The strength training is the major part of my exercise. This is what you're witnessing here. And intermittent fasting. Trying 20 hours. Sometimes when I fail, I go 16. Sometimes when I fail real hard and it's less than 16. But basically, yeah. Going for the 20. So anyway, I won't get into the math of that, but let's just think if one day you stop eating at 9 o'clock, you're not going to start eating till the next day at 5 p.m. So 9 p.m. to 5 p.m., you know. If it's 11, then it's 7 p.m., you know. If the last time you ate was 5 p.m., then it's going to be 1 p.m. the next day. So pretty simple. Don't think plus 20, think minus 4. It gets a lot easier that way. All right. Next one is on the right thing, and it's going to be 10. I've already said this. There's breathing exercise. Let's do this. I am sheened in sweat. Working out at home is amazing. All right. Here we go. maybe there was a little bit of hesitation near the end. I don't know if that was an excuse or just trying to get deeper into the breath. I hope it was me trying to get deeper into the breath, but subconsciously it could have been an excuse. A little bit more rest time before I lift the weight. There's only one way to fight that, and it's to go right into it. Oh, I felt that. I hope that was 10. Oh, thank you, Lord of AC, air conditioning. You are my friend. All right, let's also see. Okay, the next thing I have to do on this is the fourth exercise, which is incline curls. I'm going to set it up for the proper weight on incline curls. So be set up ahead of time. Now, I'll leave that there because that's proper. All right, feeling good. Time to make another move. But first, brought to you by water. Water. Like how there's no tagline for that. It's just water. All right. Yeah, there's going to be 2 moves on this one. We're going to go way back here. All right. Got to be able to see that top part. That's what I'm going to be moving right there near the top. All right. So, did not set up the weight for this. I do remember in my head where it should be. Oh, good. Kind of hard not to remember this one. Once you look at it, you're like, really? That much weight? No, I'm sure it's not a lot of weight, but it's easy to remember, let's put it that way. Goodness. All right, there is 6 of these. 6. All right. All right, I am going to do a breathing exercise because I just forgot about it. I knew that there's something. It's just something that feels good about doing that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to charge myself up for this. A little worried about it. Sometimes this gets pretty difficult. I hope it's not beyond my capability, but according to the script, it should not be. So, all intimidations aside, there's no choice but to little bit of struggle there. Not as much as I was thinking, though. So, glad I didn't drop it. Gonna shift out, change the weight. Then we're gonna do another. Only 2 sets of this, thank goodness. Then it's dips, which I should feel pretty good doing, but after doing all that other stuff, the dips, oh man. But triceps are pretty important. And trying to get myself that real full extension, that's gonna feel good. Drop down as low as I can go, hanging there, really feel it. Holding your body accountable while holding your body. I don't know if that makes any sense. Also, here's a fun, weird thing. If I try to push too hard, straighten too hard, if I go too long like that, I even just felt it now doing it a little bit. It's always been this way. It's like your calves. You stretch your toes out too hard. Sometimes you can cause yourself to get a cramp, like a calf cramp, or I guess this in the triceps. I usually stop short before I get a tricep cramp and just put a little bend in it, but it's gotten close a couple times. I go there, I try to strain, make sure I'm at the top, the very physical top of the extension, and I feel that, and it's like, whoa, that's going to turn into a cramp pretty soon. Back off a little bit. Speaking about, wow, this is like perfect. The seat is like perfect. This is like, feels like a very full extension. Oh, one thing I can do to change my extension, get a little bit more out of this, lean back a little bit. I don't know if that's helping the exercise or cheating at the exercise. I think it's pretty good. Another fun thing, play around with your thumbs over the top, thumbs over here. It's nice to be able to do it both ways. I think last time I did it, thumbs underneath, but for more practical purposes, anytime you have to lift yourself up, if your fingers can get on top of it, your thumb can get on top of it. And there's a lot of things you can grab onto that your thumb may not get under. So, thumb on top, just from a tactical standpoint, if you need to climb on top of something, there might be not a spot for your thumb to go under. So, I think I'm gonna try to stick to thumbs over top, and the natural inclination on a bar like this is thumbs under. So these are just guesses. I am not an expert, but maybe after 2 years I'll feel enough to be a slightly bit more knowledgeable if this stuff works out, but I'm committed to doing it. So whether or not it works out, I will put in the work. I believe there's a high degree of success. Now, what is success? With the diet and exercise, basically 13% or less body fat. I am not there, obviously. Here we go. I really hope that was 8 because I don't know if I have more on my plate. Alright, I'm going to move this one a little bit. It is going to go to dips. Breath exercise after I move the camera. I probably should turn on a light too. The trusty, dusty lantern. All right. Yeah, I think that's probably about the right spot. I'll be able to see if I go all the way down, come all the way up. fall, fall on my head. Guess I'll have to go with the standard right here. That's not too bad. All right, we'll see what that looks like on here. Hopefully the light's not too bright. All right, that's not too bad. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe I'll just be a silhouette. Breath, breathing exercise. This will be a 7-9. Reasonably sure that was 9. Oh, I did feel about putting the thumb over. Thumb over does not work that well. So in this case, I put the thumb under. Set of 6. I think that was 6, but I might have cheated. Not sure. Put the light out on this one. All right. I did not bring the script in here, so I'll have to go back inside and get the script. But good news, that's where the rest of this takes place. So that's pretty good. This tripod is awkward. But I like it nonetheless. All right. There's a good tripod. Hopefully I won't knock that case over again. All right. Okay. This has already been dialed in, but such as I am double checking. Yep, we're good. Gonna do a breath exercise. Then we're on our way to incline curls. Gonna do the breathing. Gonna just use this hand over here. Gonna do the knuckle method. Fingertip, knuckle, knuckle, base of finger, knuckle, knuckle, fingertip. It goes to 7 whether you're doing fingertips or knuckle method. That's for counting. Feels good. So I turn my air on a little bit, set that temperature just a slight bit cooler. Been sweating a lot lately. Summer's coming up. I'll figure out a way to get enough money to pay the AC bill. I'll figure it out. All right, this is incline curls. Set of 8? No. Yeah, set of 8, then another set of 10 with slightly less weight. Let's do this. I know, standard position to start out most exercises on the incline bench, even this one. Part of it's just habit. By the way, these are not hammer curls. I can go wide open. Hammer curls would be like that. For me, wide open is kind of turning like this. Going for 8. I do not know if the head movement is cheating. I suspect it to be so, but I'm willing to live with that. I'm not cheating myself too hard out of an exercise because I'm definitely feeling it. But I just don't want to be rocking my head back and forth trying to really gain momentum. That would be real cheating. This is just pushing my way through it. Hopefully it did not have that much of an impact. Most of the work was hopefully done by the muscles that need to be worked. In that case, if you don't know, bicep, 2 seps that are bi. Ooh, that doesn't sound right. 2 muscles on the front part of the top of your arm. Can I put away the weights? All right, also dial it back for the next set. All right, that feels pretty good. I almost gave myself an excuse today. I did not get up early in the morning to do the workout. This is not early morning, this is afternoon. Shame on me. I also ate before I did this. Shame on me. I also almost didn't do this. I won't say almost didn't do this, I'll say I had an excuse ready-made in my head. I'm gonna try sitting down breathing exercise. Just because, you know. Oh, fingertips. That is an excellent way to recenter yourself a little bit. See, if I was talking this much in front of other people, I'd probably embarrass myself or just be embarrassed. But in front of a camera, I feel like there's part of me that wants to get words out, get the nonsense out. Unfortunately, I'm recording it for posterity, which actually is a good thing. I can look at myself and be like, wow, that's a lot of nonsense, and you thought that was important. Or, wow, out of all that, that is something that needs to be refined. And taking something that's a good idea, good concept, and said in an atrocious way, and then polishing it up, practicing it, making it more palatable. Simple concepts like it's better to have and not need than need and not have. That works in a lot of ways. It's definitely not a universal rule. There's so many ways I can think of that not being true. But it's kind of nice to say that in a situation where I know it's probably true. Anyway, these things, these concepts, it's good to be able to, like I said, polish them, have a tab in your brain for them, be able to pull that tab and have just an elegant concept expressed in a proper way. And we can go even further into that. We can go, yeah, you can have many proper ways to express it to a lot of different folks. If you think this person would like to hear it this way, if you think this person would like to hear it another way, and you can put variance on it. Probably the most important thing is if you want to be listened to, you probably need to listen a little bit first. Back to what my dad would call bucket theory. Anyway, I'm going off the path. There was one thing I wanted to circle back around to when I was ending that is built-in excuse. Today I saw before the workout that my dad was home, and I could go over to his place and be like, hey, let's play racquetball. Chances are after this workout he's already settled in after his work and he's probably not up for racquetball. So my excuse to myself was like, hey, I really want to play racquetball with my dad. If I don't do it now, I'm minimizing the chances of it happening today. But while that might be a valid excuse, there is a priority about doing this. I said I would do this. I committed to doing this. So even though I've skipped a few, even though I've screwed up, even though I've made mistakes with my time. And one time I got sick and I got extra cautious and took a week off. I think that actually happened twice, back in December and recently when I started videotaping. If you look at all the videos, there'll be I'm missing Wednesday, Friday, Monday, and then it catches back up on that next Wednesday. That was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. But just because they're valid excuses doesn't mean they're not excuses. And my brain may have worked really hard to make them valid. Today, I'm glad a valid excuse doesn't get me out of it. And there's also a creative workaround. I want to spend time with my dad. I'm just going to go over there and I'm just going to talk with him. I want my dad to be active. I want him to do something cardiovascular. I'm going to ask him just to, hey, you want to walk a little bit around the block? You know, something like that. That takes care of the walk, that takes care of the talk. It's not as intense as racquetball. But at the same time, I don't really want to do too much cardio on days where I'm doing this. I know that sounds pussy. Hey, I'm aware of it. But that's what I'm doing. Part of the agreement with this, part of the script is this: no hardcore cardio pretty much throughout the whole thing. I might kind of break that a little bit. Every now and then it's fun to get in a wind sprint. I know you're looking at me thinking, that dude does wind sprints? I try sometimes. But a nice swim where you kind of push yourself a little bit. Eventually in this I'm going to include Tabata. I think it's just T-A-B-A-T-A. That's coming up in quite a few weeks. Still pushing it off to 13 until I get some breathing exercises done right. Bigger breathing exercises, not the stuff I'm doing in between sets here. Anyway, too much talking, not enough doing. That's probably past 5 minutes, so gloriously I am grabbing these weights. They are set. There will be 10 of these. That is 1. That is 2. That is 3. Can we get 4? That felt like a good 4. Can I straighten it all the way out for 5? No momentum for 6 coming up. This will be 6 with no momentum. 7 for the auctioneer deep inside my soul. 8 because none of these jokes are very droll. 9 because it's just taking up time. And 10 because I'm happy I am not dead. That was poetic license on that one. All right. If it was very, very hard, I wouldn't have been able to talk throughout that. So maybe the shoulder presses are not what's going to go up the week after next. Maybe it's the incline. Although I did have a really good rest. So, I don't know. I'll figure out then. Good news is I don't have to figure out for another 2 weeks. And on that day, I'll kind of look at it and be like, More than likely, I'll go with my initial impression. That shoulder right out of the box like that. Having strong shoulders is pretty important. Connects to everything that my arms are doing. Capability-wise, there is no substitute for not sharp shoulders, but strong shoulders. The balance of the organism, that is me, needs some. Also, I like the shape of it. I like the idea of using my shoulders for things, and like having that extra meat on my shoulders is really, really useful. There is like the, let's see if I can frame it right. I can use this. Yeah, I'll go right here just to illustrate like the good shoulder points. Let's see if that's high enough. We'll go up like that. Anyway, let's say I'm going low in a situation where I need to use my shoulder to push something right here. Arms are kind of boxed up. I can bring my hands behind something and just having that little bit extra more meat there to really turn my shoulder into it. And it's like the 1-inch punch, man. it is nice to be able to throw your shoulder right into that. And you don't need much. You bend with your knees a little bit, you bring it up, you turn your hip. Believe it or not, a lot of force can be drawn from that, especially if you're using your arms to bring it in. It's just nice. I do like the shoulder things. I've used the shoulder things. My hand's on a door, the door's a little bit tight, throw a shoulder into it real quick, just kind of pop the door open. So a little bit of extra meat up here, be a little extra padding, and I would rather have bruises instead of broken bones. Call me silly. All right. So that is 25. I mean, that's not 25. That's 15 coming up. A set of 15 coming up. Totaling it all up, it's going to be like 35 total reps, but it's over the course of 5. So, all right. Lateral raises, and I think I set the camera right up for this. Got a different set of weights for this one. You don't go heavy with these. These are things you do not play around with. Because your arms are extended in a certain way, it is, I'm not 100% sure. I would like to believe I'm being cautious, not wimpy. But I definitely feel it, so there's stuff happening. Probably the safest way to do this is to bend your arms a little bit, but definitely the most intense way to do this is straighten your arms completely out. I'm going to do the first 3 of these reps. Oh, I'm going to do breathe first, so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, the first 3 reps I'm going to try very kind of straight arm here. Very kind of see what happens. Maybe I'll put my feet nice and tight together. Toe to toe, heel to heel. Yeah, definitely feeling that. Only going to do the first 3 like that. Not going to do something I call the bounce. The bounce isolates it, but since I'm doing so many, putting that little bit of bend in the elbow right there. Oh, not as hard. I think it's still doing some good stuff though. Yeah, definitely feeling it. I'm gonna guess it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, and 15 right there. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 quick breaths and then gonna go with the 5. Trying to put them about ear height, eye height, somewhere around there. If I put my head straight, my ears and my eyes are probably the same height. Two more sets of 5. I believe. Always screwing up the counting, I am. I'm gonna really focus in on the muscles these last 2 sets. Really think about the muscles working hard. Imagine there was a show, I think it was called Fraggle Rocks. There was the Fraggles, there was the people that were bigger, there was the monsters that were bigger, and then there was the people that were smaller, the doozers. You can imagine the construction worker doozers are in my muscles, working hard. We gotta keep this thing going. The Fraggles used to eat the Doozers construction things. A friend of mine showed me a video of that when I was like, God, I can't remember, but it was pretty cool. I was like, oh my God. Believe it or not, HBO used to have kid shows. I think that was a kid show originally on like the original 1980s like HBO. One more set. I'm gonna bend over for this breath. Now I'm ready. That extra one was with the bounce. At least I did one with the bounce. But it was a bounce and a bend. A bounce and straight arms would probably be kind of badass. All right. Now it's talking time. I'm gonna look at how long this video took. I'm gonna set up a little chair and I'm gonna talk about things to talk about. All right, I don't know if I kept myself in frame on that. Holy cow, 52 minutes. At least it was under an hour. I'm gonna try to do 8 minutes of talking, or less, or more, or whatever it turns out to be. Just for fun, I'm gonna write down the time on the script. All right. Okay. Got to post a few more of these up. I think I'm caught up till last Wednesday. I know I can't slack too long on this. I might get a phone call or two. You haven't given up, have you? Not yet. Just got to post up videos. Friday was a weird one. I had to stop for an important phone call and then had to take care of some stuff and then had to come back to it. So that was interesting. So Friday, that'll be an interesting one to watch. I don't watch. Well, I should. I'm going to watch every single one of these. Probably while playing bass or something, you know. Doing something else productive. Like I said, if you have no specific reason to watch this, there is no... It's going to be basically useless for you. So unless you have a very specific reason, don't. I don't like wasting your time. And even if you do have a specific reason, you know the layout of this thing by now. You could fast forward to the workout parts, watch my counts if you want, watch my form. Let me know, hey, half of your reps were just bad form, or like your back was arching weird or doing something like that. Just like take that out of the equation, really focus at the muscle at hand, or the muscle that you're trying to work. Let's see here. Someone really might notice like, hey, your grip was starting to loosen on some of the stuff you were doing. Though I don't think so. It's something to kind of put in mind and be like, okay, I'll watch that once or twice, see if it's true. Hey, and if it's true, I missed something. If it's not true, disregard it. A lot of good things, a lot of bad things in life. Still reeling from Winks. Her death, man. Still weighs heavy upon me. But if I died on her, I wouldn't want her to be very, very sad. I would want her to still be able to be happy. And I'm reasonably sure if she has the capacity for that level of thought, and for some reason I think she does. I think she is that smart. but that's just me. Maybe I'm filled with subjective delusions. But I would believe that, I know for a fact, she liked me better when I was happy. So that was a good reason for me to be happy for her. And now that she's gone, I would imagine she would want me not to be too broken up after her dying. Amazing little girl. My little girl. I was owned by a cat, and my freedom feels horrible. But that's just the absence talking. Really, there's life, and hopefully I'm creative enough to be really focusing on the good stuff. There is breath. Yeah. You take it in, you push it out. That is what it's all about. At least a good part of it. Well, I was really excited to say something interesting and useful here. It might not come. My brain's been wiped away by breath and thoughts of gratefulness that I had my little girl for as long as I did. That's immediately where I go when I start thinking of her. All the good stuff, just rapid fire. A million screens in my head. I can't think to a million, so we'll say, I don't know, 80. Big grid of screens, old school television screens, like a wall of old school television screens, all playing scenes from her life that I witnessed, that I was part of. Her being happy, her being silly. And I am very grateful. It's an easy trap, and it would be a valid excuse to get caught up in your own pain and your own bullshit. But a lot of people have that. There are some people out there that I really look up to and try to emulate that go beyond that. Somebody dies on them. They're not just mission focused. They can't just, they can just mission focus it away. But when it goes beyond that, when the mission is over, when they have that time alone, I truly believe that some of those people that I look up to can go beyond their pain into this realm of appreciation. And appreciation is one of the tools in my mental toolbox that I try to sharpen every day. Try to use every day. Some people say keep a journal and write it down. And maybe that's some next level stuff for me. Maybe I'm not that advanced. No, I know I'm not that advanced. I haven't even tried that yet. And I've heard it for years. I first heard it by a friend of mine years and years ago that I thought was not into that woo-woo stuff. Appreciation journal, really? But there's something about somebody who can get something done. And witnessing their results lands credence upon any bizarre notion. Almost any bizarre notion, especially the bizarre notion of an appreciation journal. So that might be coming soon into my life. Maybe something that make me feel better than I feel. In a lot of ways, I try to commit to that feeling of great, just wonderful, amazing sometimes, because I know it's there. I know it's within my grasp, and sometimes it's just a handful of thoughts away. It's a handful of thoughts of 80 television screens in a wall playing my favorite moments from my cat's life. And some of the people I really care about, those connections too. Too many people have died in the last too many years. But thank goodness for the ones I was prepared for. I will maintain, so far in my life, the surprise ones much harder. Being able to prep, being able to say a few things, it's going to be good. But then again, when I die, do I want to know? Do I really want to prepare myself for that? Or, well, honestly, anybody that, if there's anybody that still cares about me by the time I'm dying, hopefully that's very far away. And yeah, I'm running out of people that really care about me, so. And do I have really any intention to replace? No, not so much. Do I still have the intention of being a hermit and living out in the wilderness somewhere? I'm trying not to. I'm trying to believe that doing good, I don't know, this is a little pocket belief, and maybe this is worth the talk of it right now. Maybe this is the meat of the exchange, the really important stuff. And I say meat of the exchange, and I don't really, I'm a vegetarian. But not pushing that on anyone. I'm just, I've cooked meat while being a vegetarian. I've had it accidentally on my food. I don't freak out. It's just like, it is what it is, man. I'm living my life my way, and I will go through a drive-through and order 80 burgers for you and smell that smell in the car and be driven a little crazy, but not crazy in the way, only crazy if I'm doing an intermittent fast. If it's past my feeding time and I just ate and I'm feeling bloated and I'll just be like, that doesn't smell good at all. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, here's the thing. The thing that I think is a good situation, a good thing. Everybody has different skills, ideas, perspectives, all that kind of stuff. There's probably something anybody that's listening to this could do, just with minimal effort, just a small thing they can do. Minimal effort that increases somebody else's life just amazingly, whether they know it or not. And I think everybody has that. I think it's kind of like a circle. I think there's people out there that have means, obviously. You're a billionaire, you can do this one thing, and like 0.0001% of your income can set somebody else for life, or set them on a business, or save them from foreclosure, or whatever it is. But then there's somebody in those positions that have nothing, that can be really happy, and you see the people that are just, my goodness, I wouldn't survive your situation. And you see them not only surviving, but thriving with a smile on their face, and you're just like, what? Those people, just seeing them, that's that little thing, or that big thing they do. When you see that, it just, makes your life better. So maybe that person with nothing can help that billionaire. And that's just a binary exchange. I think it's a lot more complicated than that. And I think what I was kind of going for was not necessarily the example viewpoint, but like little things you can do. So something you know about and you can do for somebody, and it's just an easy thing for you to do. If everybody did an easy thing for another person, I wonder what would happen. If everybody say, I'm going to do one easy thing a year to really, really significantly help someone's life, really significantly, change somebody's life for the better, one a year. And if everybody did that, I wonder what would change in the world. It'd be interesting. Hopefully it'd be a good thing. I'm sure some of it would, the best of intentions, some of it would come out sideways, but I wonder if it would be overall positive. And I would love to think that it would be, but I don't know if I'm that wise. It's certainly interesting to look at. Hard to see the pitfalls in it. But the same thing with the golden rule. A lot of people don't see the pitfalls built into the golden rule. Do unto others or love others like you'd love yourself. There's an interesting juxtaposition. Which one is the real golden rule? Or are they both contained with it? And it's a matter of interpretation. But I'm not going to get into that. What I am going to finish this off with was something I wanted to circle back into, which is little things. That's what I'm focusing on right now. Obviously, to me, this is a big thing, but this experiment to somebody else might be nothing. What, 2 years? That's all you're doing? You're only working out 3 days a week, and you're only doing the strength training with these big pauses and breath, and you're following you're not pushing yourself to 100% every single time. You're following a script. What? No. Yeah, to me, it's a big thing. To me, this is a big endeavor. To somebody else, it might not be, and I am well aware of it. But the good news is I only have to live my life. I don't have to live that person's life. So if you are looking down upon this, you're welcome to. I'm not going to say your opinion doesn't matter. I'm sure your opinion matters very much to you. But I'm gonna make this as a big part of the lifestyle change. And that feels good. And also, I'm committing to little things that change my lifestyle. One of the little things was witnessed. This is the full circle part. In the beginning of this video, one of those little things was witnessed where I said, I'm going to do 3 chin-ups a day. And then I switched it out. I'm going to do 3 L-shaped chin-ups a day. I'm going to do 3 L-shaped chin-ups a day and 4 of those glide down things. The glide down thing is obviously a recent addition. And then there was one time where I heard about a guy doing like 4,000 chin-ups in 24 hours or something amazing. But of course that started with 1. That's not my goal. I'm not after any world records. But I did want to see how many days it'd take me to do 100. So I set up I got inspired by reading that book where that was part of the book. And a couple books, I don't know if they would appreciate me mentioned, but since they're not my friends or whatever, I'm only not going to appreciate people, or I'm not going to talk about people I know, because that almost seems like talking behind somebody's back. But somebody who's wrote a book, they probably want people to promote it. So I'm going to say good things about 2 books. Today I just finished a book called Conspiracy. That is a good book, and it's a really interesting way of trying to see things from different people's perspectives. There's a lot of parts in there, and you'd think of this person's just bad, but the author goes into their possible motivations. And then you think somebody's good, and the author goes into their motivations, which may have not been the best, or may have been petty or whatever. But you can go into the motivations. It's kind of it's fun to play around in that zone, especially because none of us has the liberty to be in somebody else's mind. So Conspiracy, I think it's by a guy named Ryan Holiday, if I'm correct. Good book. But better book, in my opinion, or at least one that affected me way more than this one. The Conspiracy was more about that thought exercise and opening up my eyes to certain things. But this one really affected me. The whole, there's a guy named David Goggins, and it's a book called Can't Hurt Me. And for a little while I was playing around with possibly running some long distance running. But the way I would do it is I'd find a stretch, and I would just go all night and see how far I can go back and forth on that stretch. The idea of competing with other people and making it a thing and having a sticker and just go back and forth, go on a track, see how many times you can go around, and in a 12-hour period or whatever. That was my way. I'm not so much into that anymore. I might go back to that when I'm doing the various cardio things in 2 years. Intense cardio might come up with the Tabata, but I don't see myself doing any long distance running. I see myself maybe walking around the block in an hour or doing Tabata or something like that. But anyway, not going into the cardio treatment for the next 2 years, but it's not going to involve ultra marathons or 5Ks, or I don't know. Maybe, who knows, maybe it will. I remember doing a couple of 5Ks when I was really young. Those were kind of fun with certain people, certain friends. So if I meet the right friends that are into it. But anyway, there's something nice about a walk and talk, and there's something nice about a talk and jog, and maybe even a talk and run if we both are kind of in each other's pace. All right, now I'm just wool gathering here. Anyway, David Goggins' book. There's a whole bunch of stuff that influenced me. But one of the things that influenced me to try something is see how fast I could do 100 chin-ups, how long it would take. And I did it, and I wrote down this list and check mark thing, and had a special pen and hung it up near the specific chin-up bar I wanted to do it on. And yeah, I got to 100 faster than I thought I would. And that was pretty cool. I was like, okay, you can do a little bit more than you thought you were capable of. That's pretty cool. But since then, I haven't wanted to do that. I hear about one guy that I do not know personally, but one of his workout things is, well, he does this like 5 a.m. stuff, or 4:30 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. or 2 a.m. I don't know, maybe even 1 a.m. Maybe he goes to bed at noon. If you go to bed at noon and you wake up at 1 a.m., you're getting 13 hours of sleep, buddy. Anyway, he gets up very early and goes to bed, I think, very early. I hope. And he does, I think it's 100 chin-ups. Like, that's his thing. And I don't think he does 100 in a row, but I think it's like broken down into sets. And the sets are just like, how many can I do? Clock it, clock it, clock it. Okay, that was 20 or 15 or 5. All right, do another set. And goes into that and breaks it down that way, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if I necessarily want to go for that. Like I said, I'm committed to this. I don't want to throw too many things in the mix to screw this up, but I might be adding a few things. There's at least one workout I saw on the internet that I might want to try. That was a kind of a chest fun workout, and I think it was by this guy that I think is a former gymnast. And so, like, doing those rings and stuff, that's some massive upper body stuff and massive real control, not just strength, but real control. Fine motor function. Being able to control things by millimeters impresses me a lot. Not that that person needs any of my validation whatsoever, but that's something I would want to attain for myself, to be able to do things by millimeters with a lot of strength behind it. Anyway, so that's wool gathering. That's kind of the full circle thing. What I went full circle on was little things. The chin-ups are a brand new little thing. It's not much, but I think it stacks. And I got a list of a whole bunch of little things that I want to do in one day. I'll never have a perfect day. I'll never physically be able to do all these little things, but I'll look at that list and what appeals to me. Maybe it's learning how to juggle. Now watch me screw this up, but yeah. Or maybe it's playing hacky sack. Playing hacky sack. Playing hacky sack. Wow, yeah. All right. There we go. That's probably where that one goes. I did not mean to do that. All those times I was trying to kick it straight back up and then kick it again. Maybe I should have done something like, that's not quite straight. There we go. Not quite. Anyway, I'll get better with that. Not that it's a major goal of mine, but it's a fun thing. I mean, there's the social lubricant of alcohol, and then there's the social lubricant of doing something simple like hacky sack. Don't believe me? Try it. It's kind of fun to do with people that are somewhat able-bodied, and I've seen people on crutches, get tossed the ball and kick it to somebody else. So, if they're willing to, and if they're good with their crutches, I guess. Okay, I'm done. That is a long talk, way longer than expected. Hopefully there's some value in there for you somewhere. If not, it's value for me for getting it out of my head. Later it shall be.